Hey guys, Ethan here. Welcome to my guest bedroom. And today I'm going to be showing you all of my gear. Going to be walking you through guitars, my pedal board, random other stuff that I feel like would be good to show you. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start taking a look here. So on our bed here with the lovely quilt style comforter, we have my acoustic here, which actually belongs to me and my wife. My dad actually got this for us for Christmas a couple years ago. We have a Taylor 214, very nice little Polytune clip up there. I don't play acoustic a ton, but you know, you always want to have an acoustic when you need one. Next up, we have Old Reliable, which is a crafted in Japan 1952 Telecaster reissue with a factory Bigsby. I actually got this at the Guitar Emporium here in Kentucky, and the guy who checked me out was Gearman Dude. So if you want to know what he actually looks like, go down to Guitar Emporium, and you'll see that he doesn't look anything like Jack Black. He said that these pickups in the Tele were not stock. He didn't know what they were. I haven't opened it up since I had it to really look at it. Should probably do that. I will actually probably do a video of that to go along with the replacement of the nut here. So when I was in college, I was helping out with an audition, and I left my Tele on stage, and after the guy who was auditioning finished, he was walking off stage and bumped my Tele while I was on the stand, and it fell face first. And I stripped, I think, these two neck screws on the bottom. So I had to take it to a luthier to get that repaired. But when he repaired it, the D and the G string specifically were buzzing really horribly, and never figured out why. But I figured out the problem was at the nut. I'm assuming it's from the impact. The grooves in the nut were deepened a little too far and just made everything fret out. The A string started acting up too. So little makeshift solution. I actually, as you can see, I've got the wrapper there. I have a Graphtec nut here that in a future video is going to replace the broken one. All right, move on to my favorites here. As you can see by the case, it is a Gretsch. It's not your everyday Gretsch. It is a Blue Burst 6120 from the pre-Fender days. I got this guitar for my 16th birthday. My dad, who is also a musician, he's a bass player, saw this at the local music go-round, and it had a great price on it, and he, for whatever reason, thought it'd be a good idea to give a 16-year-old who was honestly not very good at guitar, still not very good, but he thought it'd be a good idea to give a 16-year-old a 6120. This thing and me have quite a history. Also, while I was at college, this guitar was actually stolen. And my heart was broken because, I mean, this is my prized possession. Like, I don't know what I would really do without it. My fiance at the time, and she's not my wife, had actually went ahead and picked out my groomsman cake to be this guitar, and before the guitar was stolen. And she came to me, she's like, "Is this gonna be too hard?" And I said, No, just go ahead and do it. It'll help me keep the fond memories. And actually, before our wedding, it was found at a guitar shop or a pawn shop, I don't remember which, a while away, and was returned to me. So I'm never leaving this anywhere again, rightfully so. Next, got my little Vox AC15. I think it's the CC because of just the C. I can't remember what the, like, when they started making the CCs or the Cs, I don't remember. But it's the one with the plastic switches and the plastic jack. Typically these come stock with a Wharfedale speaker, which I had for a little bit, but I actually have swapped it out for a Celestion Alnico Blue, as you can see there, and it just brought a lot more life to the amp, I guess. I also did the Bright Cap mod, so it's better. It's not as harsh, I guess. I can't exactly remember what the Bright Cap mod did. All I remember is that it sounded better after I did it. All right. Lastly, have our pedal board, which I got this really awesome old suitcase at my sister got it at a Peddler's Mall for like $20, I think. And it fits my pedal board absolutely perfectly. You gotta love when stuff like that works out. So yeah, got my little strap here that keeps everything in place. And have a Roadhog silver core cable that works really well. It's got a right angle, so I can just plug right into my tuner there without it like sticking out really awkwardly. Power cables for power supplies, and then a Mogami Gold straight angle, both sides, that goes out of my reverb into the amp. So let's walk through the pedal board. Have a Boss TU2 tuner, which has been with me literally since the beginning. If your first pedal you own is not a tuner, then we need to have a talk. So out of the tuner, we go into the Visual Sound. Well, it's not True Tone. The Visual Sound Route 66 compressor and overdrive. And the cool thing about this new V3 version is that it has separate ins and outs for the compressor and the overdrive sides. So I go into the compressor side and go out from there into the brand new PC Electronic Sub and Up Octaver, which for the money I think is the best Octaver out there, because I mean it's obviously there to compete with the POG series from Electro Harmonix, and it does a really good job of that, and it also does like multiple things besides just doing the whole polyphonic thing. It has a tone print which has a lot of cool options. I actually have one on there right now that's supposed to be like an old, I think it's a Hammond organ, and you have your dry and your upper octave signal to kind of give you the organ sound, and then the sub and the sub 2 act as modulation control for tremolo, so it kind of gives you that Leslie whirl, like spinning effect. It's really cool. And then it's got the classic, which is like the old Boss octave down pedals that were kind of glitchy, but kind of cool too at the same time. So out of the Sub and Up, go into this blue pedal, which a friend of mine built, and it is a Analog Man King of Tone single channel. So it's not a Prince of Tone. It's a little bit different. I've watched plenty of videos on it and kind of with some high quality headphones to actually make sure that I was hearing correctly, to know that the Prince of Tone does have some different characteristics that than the King of Tone. So it is a single channel King of Tone. I have it set up for like a light, medium overdrive. This and my tuner are the oldest pedals on the board. They have not left me in how long? 7 years. Yeah, long time. So out of that we go into the Superbolt, which is a pedal by JHS, meant to model after all those old Supro amps that a lot of players used in the studio, like Jimmy Page on the Stairway to Heaven solo used a Supro cranked up with a Telecaster to get that awesome sound. So I love it for that type of stuff. It's not transparent at all. It's actually like very like it changes the characteristics a little bit more than I'm used to, honestly. It adds some more, I guess, low mids and yeah, it's definitely something in the mid frequency. I can't remember like the exact frequencies or anything like that, but it adds some girth and some drive for sure. And then you got your headroom switch basically here. I think it's supposed to emulate like 2 different types of Supro amplifier preamps. I keep it down because I like to use it as like a gainier setting for solos and chunky rhythm and stuff. Then we go into the visual sound again, into the overdrive side. And the visual sound overdrive is basically like, it's got a couple settings. I use it in the A setting, and that's more of like a tube screamer because it's got a much more present mid hump, I guess, and it's got a clean mix, a bass, and it's a really tweakable pedal and works awesome for lead stuff, you know, with the mid hump helping you push through the mix and all that. So from the visual sound overdrive, we go into the Ernie Ball volume pedal junior. I know I'm like everybody else. Get over it. I actually broke the string on this not too long ago, and I was very impressed with myself because I replaced it and I didn't throw anything through a wall. It was great. So from the Ernie Ball, we go to the M Drive, which I run after just to push swells and stuff like that. I also run at 18 volts, so it's not like super gainy, but it's more, like I said, it's there to push swells a little bit, not a whole ton though. So from there into the El Capistan, which is an amazing tape delay. Also an underrated feature of the El Capistan is the reverb that it has in it. It's part of the secondary functions on, I think it's the time knob. So like you hold both buttons down and it lets you control like a really long decay spring reverb like the old, I think it's the Roland Space Echo. It had the onboard reverb like that. So it sounds awesome, works great for ambience and swells. And something I'm thinking about doing is building a little favorite switch so that I can have a second like preset on here to switch to when I want to. So out of the El Capistan, we'll go to the Korg STD 3000, which is a brand new pedal to me. Awesome price on it, and I love YouTube. I just love YouTube. I love the Edge. My parents used to put a little beanie on me when I was a baby, when I was bald, and called me Little Edge, and the whole thing kind of stuck. Because now I love U2, and I play the Edge's signature delay pedal. So one of the cool things about the STD 3000 is the preamp section, which can help like just fatten your tone up a lot. It actually darkens things a little bit, but in a good way. If that makes sense, I'd have to I'd have to have it on and going for y'all to hear it, but just trust me when I say it adds like this warmth to your sound, even when you don't have the delay on. It's a buffered bypass pedal. It just adds this warmth and awesomeness to your sound that you wouldn't have otherwise. So out of there, my signal splits stereo into the Blue Sky, and I mean, it's a Blue Sky. It's an awesome reverb pedal. You know what it does. You got 2 presets. I actually keep the favorite preset as like a short hall reverb. I don't care too much for like amp spring reverb. It's just never been something that I really liked. But yeah, and then for my other setting, I use a really long decay room reverb, and partnering with like these pedals and then plus RV5, which I'll get to in a second, just sounds immense and really washy. I love it. And then finally we have the RV5, which is a staple on a lot of people's boards. As you can see, modulate setting little below half on the effect level, just so that my signal still goes through pretty cleanly. Yeah, also thinking about getting this modded with the JHS mod to have a second preset on it, which would be just cool because then I'd have 4 different reverb sounds to choose from. All right, so that's the pedal board. Some pedals that are not on here that I also own. I have a TC Mini Flashback, which is an amazing delay. I love all the tone print stuff that TC does, and all their delays sound awesome. And then I also, I'm trying to get it repaired right now. I have a Bondi FX. It's called the Dirty Lover. And the thing about the Dirty Lover is that it is a clone, but it was like Jono from Bondi, this was like his first step towards building the sick as pedal that everybody uses and loves. And something went wrong with it power wise, and Jono isn't here in the States anymore, obviously, so I can't send it to him to fix it without paying a ridiculous amount of money for shipping. So I'm trying to find someone to repair it so that I can use it some more. Then one of the last things I want to show you here is this little thing here. This is a Tascam iXZ. Is an interface for your iPhone or iPad or any type of device. I guess you can do Android too, but it's an interface for your guitar or for microphones. If you want to record something into, like, say, GarageBand on your iPad or GarageBand on your phone, and you want to do it clean and you want it to sound right, this is the way to go. I think these are I think they're only available on Amazon, and they're about $40. You have to have some batteries in there to make them function, but well worth it. I use this with a app called Bias Effects, and it's made by Positive Grid, who makes amp simulators for amp simulator plugins for Pro Tools and Logic and all that, and they are amazing. I'm going to be doing a demo of that app here pretty soon and show you how awesome the amps sound from all different genres and all that. So yeah, this has been a walkthrough of my gear. Thanks for checking my video out. If you like what you see, subscribe, and I'll be making more videos like this. Thanks, guys.